Welcome to Pardon Your French with myself, Stephanie Lauren.
And Vanessa Sherlock.
So today, Vanessa and I thought we would do something a little bit different. We're going to do some quick fire questions, although I don't know how fast I'm going to be. My brain's really slow. And just so you guys can get to know a little bit more about each of us and experiences that we've had. We don't know each other's questions, so I hope mine are.
I hope mine are good, but you never know. Okay.
So shall I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, question 1 to Vanessa. Oh, I feel like the quiz mark.
Yeah.
This is titled Culture Shock. So what's something totally normal in France that you felt was quite weird or wild being an American?
The fact that the shopping carts, all 4 wheels go like in 360 degrees. So like in the US, the rear wheels on the shopping cart, the ones that are closest to you when you're holding onto it, don't turn. So yeah, so like when you're coming out of Leclerc in Ribérac, for example, there's like a slope that goes left to right, and it's virtually impossible to push a full shopping trolley. You know, it like starts going away from you. You have to like walk on the side to hold it up as you're going. It really drove me nuts. It still drives me nuts. It is good for maneuverability, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, what are the weird things that like got under my skin when I first got here? I was like, how stupid is this design? Why would you do that to somebody?
Wow. I never thought that would be your answer. That's a very good one.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Weird, but yeah.
Yeah. I think they're the same as like in England, in France then.
Yeah.
I visited America once, but I never noticed that about shopping carts.
Did you go to the grocery store?
Yeah.
Did you want to shop out of?
Yeah, I love American grocery stores.
That's a nice choice. Well, like, I figure it's because, obviously, they're so much bigger in the US and the aisles are just so massive.
Yeah.
That, like, when you're doing your shopping, you don't ever need to, like, do a 360 really quick and get out of the way. Whereas here, like, there's hardly even enough space for 2 carts to go past each other in an aisle.
Especially at Lidl on a Wednesday. Bring out the middle aisle. Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, that was a very good answer. 10 out of 10.
Thank you.
You gonna
no, you're supposed to do. Oh, am I doing? Yeah, you was. Oh, choirs, aren't they?
Yeah, but I can't process. Okay, language and communication, Vanessa. Did you ever fake understanding a full conversation? If so, what happened?
I fake every conversation. I don't even know what's going on right now, honestly. You mean in French?
Yeah.
No, because they can really quickly figure out that you've got no idea what's going on because they ask you something and you're like, we? And then you realize by their facial expression that we wasn't the right answer, and so you just like it. But I've watched Simon do it when we took his tractor to get fixed when I first moved here, and he brought me to translate. And the guy was like, speaking to Simon, but I'm standing to the side listening, trying to get the gist of what's going on. And apparently he'd been like mowing the grass with the blades too low, and so he like completely destroyed the poor thing. And the guy's giving this full explanation of like, lift the blades up, see this setting here, lift the blades up when you're gonna cut, first cut in the spray or whatever. And Simon was just standing there, and he's like perfected the art of the ba oui. So he's just standing there, ba oui, and then we walked away, and he went, so what was the art of?
Like, yeah. I literally can completely understand how he feels. And I do the same thing every day. Okay, food and drink. Obviously, what France is known for. So, what French food did you try once and never again?
Tripe. Yeah.
Ooh,
I'd never had tripe before. We were at like a fancy dinner for like the end of the season at our golf club in Angoulême, and the chef did one of the courses was tripe, and not everyone ate it. There were quite a lot of the French people that didn't eat it, but I was like, well, you can't say you don't like it unless you try it. And to me, it tastes like what cow poop smells like.
wow.
Yes, I didn't like that combination of poop and pee. That cow, that really strong. Oh yeah, that's kind of what it tasted like to me. But I have tried other like kind of questionable looking things since I got here that have turned out to be really good. Like,
Can you have a
So, same again. We were out clay shooting with a bunch of the guys, and they like to do like a picnic. They bring all their bottles of wine because they all work in the wine industry, so they're all like really fancy bottles of wine, and they all like pull out these like really random pates and things. And one of them was like this ball of what looked like dry brains, but it was actually intestines that had been like peppered really heavily, and dry. And like it wasn't necessarily dry, but it was, I don't know how to explain it. It was actually really nice. But initially, they're passing it around, cutting slices, and it's something that is unique to the Gironde, which is the department next to ours. And they were like, "Oh yeah, you'll only ever have it here."
Ah, okay.
And yeah, Simon, he was like, "I'm not trying that," and I was like, "I've tried worse. Hey, think about the things."
That's a whole lot on. No. Okay, Vanessa is brave with her food. Okay. What was your? I think actually you've just answered that. I was going to say, what was your I finally belong in France food moment, but I think the fact that you can eat intestines and brains, I think you've covered that. I have more questions that I can ask. And friendships and social life. Do the French party differently than the Brits and the Americans?
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, they do. Um, I they really like enjoy the meal. It's a lot longer process. You know, when you go out for a meal, you might get there at 7 o'clock, not start eating while 8:30, 9, 10 o'clock. But yeah, so we have a friend that is a butcher, and every year he would do this massive like beef extravaganza, and he has, you know, like all the starters. They have all the cockles and prawns and all that stuff, just like massive spread with all, like going to the grocery store basically with all the ice and everything. And you like hammer that for ages while you're going through bottle after bottle of wine. And they're really funny about it because obviously Brits generally, even if they like wine, they tend to be more like, oh, here's a bottle of wine, glug, 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 glug. Whereas the French, I mean, 6 or 7 bottles in, everyone was hammered. And they're opening a bottle of wine and be like, still doing the tasting thing, like, oh, it's a bit like this, it's a bit like that. And I'm just like, you haven't got any taste buds left. What are you pretending for? But it's still all about the ceremony. Yeah, the ceremony of the experience of the like life.
The love joyous. Yeah. I only went to, I've been to some French parties and they were a bit mental. They were quite long and everybody was just throwing down. And I was like, I didn't expect this. And they were into a lot of reggae and soccer and hip hop. And I was like, I never thought this in a quiet rural short, but I was totally enthralled and throwing down too.
You were definitely hanging out with younger people than I was.
That's reality. And goddamn, yes, as the kids would say. No. Right. Do you feel more social here or more isolated?
More isolated, I would say, but I moved out here when I was 26, so I only just kind of gotten out of uni and grad school and stuff. So in a situation where you are basically still partying every night and going to class the next day hungover or going to work hungover or whatever, I think part of it is just aging out of that kind of lifestyle. I try to be sociable here, but you know, I also like the comforts of staying in at home and just, you know, snuggling up, watching some TV with my cat. So,
I'd say you're so. Everybody knows you. Everybody does, in a good way or in a bad way. Like everybody knows who you are. But I totally get that whole. It's great to go out and party, but it's so nice to come home and just get on my electric blanket when it's cold and just snuggle with a good book. Totally love that too. Bureaucracy and the system. Is it easier now or still a nightmare? And what's your ultimate French admin survival tip?
it is definitely still a nightmare because you go from learning everything you can about one thing, doing it, moving on. That's kind of how a lot of the reading up on things here goes. Like, you initially find out what you should do and what you have to do, and then you just like go down this rabbit hole of finding on every scrap of information you can that also is the same thing.
So I will pick your brain later about that, Cindy. Daily life and adaptation. What habit have you picked up that's so French now, that you think you're more French than American with?
Eating lunch between 12 and 2. So yeah, like when I got here, it was pretty common to, mess around and end up having lunch at 3 o'clock. Like going out for lunch at 3 o'clock in the States would have been a totally normal experience. Now it's like, oh, it's 12 o'clock, I'm starving, and I better get my meal in because restaurants are all gonna shut, Okay, I'd say that's probably the most French clad thing that I do.
Yeah, it's that I forget all the time about it, and I turn up and I'm like, damn it, it's shut.
Yeah,
Like I'm not very organized and planning, and you know me, I have a French breakfast and then I don't eat.
yeah,
But that's sometimes, and I do choose to go out. I'm like,
yeah. It's the one that takes that, and so like, we eat dinner really early. So if we want to go out for dinner, it's like you have
well, you call your dinner lunch.
No, sorry. If yeah, no, I'm using your term. I'm using your term. So so say I've had lunch at 12 or whatever, and then I want to go out later for dinner. Okay, like a restaurant doesn't open till 7 o'clock, and you're not eating food at 7. You're just like sitting there for a half an hour waiting for service at 7. So I find that difficult as well. Like just the timings of when you're supposed to eat, I find really difficult.
Yeah, I don't think my rhythm is on the French food vibe.
Yeah.
I still got that down. I guess what do you two in one? What do you love most about French lifestyle, and what's the one thing that you never understood about the culture?
I love that they just, well, I guess I hate it too, but I love it. Just don't care about anything. They're just like, you live once, so why be stressed? You live once, so why rush to help somebody? And so it's like, I love it because, yeah, you have to really teach yourself. Like you're in the grocery store, you can't really be in a rush, or you're, trying to get lunch. You can't be in a rush. You're just there for the experience of like being out and, enjoying it. And I do find myself sometimes feeling like, oh yeah, I have to remind myself. Check yourself. Yeah, check myself. Like, yeah, like, and that is it. It's that, they're slow and lazy, but I wouldn't necessarily say slow and lazy. I say their perspective on life, they'll spend all their paycheck on a meal just because they want to enjoy the experience of eating with their family and stuff like that, which is a respectable thing. That's so much more important than shoving some trash in your body and being on the move to go earn more money from wherever. So
yeah, you're right. When you say it like that, I totally agree. I think they've got it so right. And in England or America, you are totally just grabbing a sandwich in the car on the way to your next job. Or I always feel the pressure and time. I'm so obsessive about time and having to get to my next job or appointment or like rendezvous or school run, and I'm like, oh my god, and I've got to get food shopping in, and oh my god, what am I going to do for dinner? Like I'm always under that pressure.
yeah,
And I look around in the shops and I'm like, that nobody else is.
Yeah.
Everybody's on this, like, they have much more of a chill vibe.
yeah,
And in living in the present, which I absolutely admire. And that's one thing that I need to learn and try to master.
yeah.
I'm nowhere near.
But it also comes across as incredibly inconsiderate.
It's finding the buds.
Yeah, and it's all over the place, isn't it? And every day you learn something new.
Learn something new. So this is like Free Voices Zimmer. So looking back and moving forward is the title. So what do you miss most about the States? Would you ever want to go back? And when did it finally feel like home? And would you do it all over again?
Oh,
You will be to let I'm going to go.
yeah, no, okay. So, what do I miss the most? I miss my family the most, which is now incredibly spread out. So it's not as easy as just going back to my hometown and seeing my family. I've got a sibling that lives in New Zealand. I've got a sibling that lives 6 hours away from my hometown in California. I've got my parents, they both still live in my hometown, but a little bit farther apart. And then I've got a sibling in my hometown that I'm hoping he's can spread his wings and maybe, move on to bigger, better things, but you never know. I also like going and seeing my hometown, but at the same time, I lived there 26 years, so
Mm.
I was really happy to leave. I always knew I wanted to. Would I do it all again? Absolutely. It probably took me, 2 or 3 years to feel like this was home.
Yeah.
Um, I still like, I've already said today, like, I call California home, but I don't usually. I say, oh, when I go back to California. I don't. Whereas, like, you hear people saying about going back to the UK, they'll always say going home.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. And, yeah, I've got a friend who, she was saying her kid was, like, born there, but left there when he was, like, 4 or 5 or something like that. And he still calls the UK home. And he's literally never lived there. He's like 16, 17 years old now, and he still calls it when we go back home. And so
I guess I'm as where the heart is sometimes. He's saying some people. Yeah, I feel like I left a bit of me in England when I did move here.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like a little bit of me. Because obviously you make a mark, you leave like your traces and your fingerprints, don't you?
Yeah.
You move country and you've made impressions on people when you've shared experiences with people, and then you uproot and you move to a different country. And I still get messages from people that are like, oh my God, when are you coming back? Because obviously I've never been back. In all honesty, I don't have the desire to go back. No, I haven't. But I get the whole family thing. Obviously, I've got a 20-year-old sister now who I haven't seen since she was like 15.
yeah.
So she's learned to drive a car and go to uni and do all these things. And I haven't physically been able to like give her a hug or congratulate her. It's different over a phone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, Carter with his Nana, my mum.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It is difficult, but
I think the biggest moment was when COVID hit and it was like lockdown, you can't travel. And it was this thing where it was like, oh, that was the first time I realized, like, oh, you might not be going back there. And that was, when I was like, okay, I've got to get vaccinated so I can go back. I've got to, I got to see my sister who just had a baby, So if she gave birth during COVID lockdown and things like that, and so I think that being away during that whole experience was a little bit harder. I mean, I'm silly because apart from family, I miss like sweets and like terrible stuff. That even when I go back, actually, I really miss pepperoni. So that apparently they sell pepperoni other places in France, just not here.
right.
And so, I miss like pepperoni pizza.
Yeah, so I would totally jump on board with that. He's not been able to find a decent pepperoni pizza.
So they don't have it here. It's just like such a random thing. But you grow accustomed to not having stuff as well. So yeah.
Yes, you do. You find an alternative. Yeah, don't ask my dad about Heinz baked beans because he's still human. So the last part of the question: would you do it all again?
I would absolutely. It's been such a wonderful adventure. I don't plan on moving back. Every year that I'm here longer is another year I've spent adulting in France longer than I have in the US. And sometimes I talk to my friends back there about their adulting experiences, and I'm like, oh, that sounds terrible. I mean, as much as it's difficult here, you get accustomed to a system and the amount of time things take and stuff like that. I certainly wouldn't be confident going back and kind of jumping back into the whole system and lifestyle and stuff like that. It would be a lot of like, well, in France they do it like this. It's way better.
Yeah, you know that
Yeah, now have a QE. That little bit. Oh yeah, exactly. But yeah, Okay, amazing. Is that all that question all done? All right. Well, you're gonna be so disappointed with my questions because they're so much less thoughtful. I thought it was a quick fire. It was like,
I know, but like to my brain doesn't fire up.
all right. So my question is, do you have a favorite French cheese?
No,
Do you like cheese?
no, I don't know. I do, but I'm the idiot that goes into Leclerc down aisle 20 to find the cheddar cheese. I'm sorry, it's true.
You like aged, mature cheddar cheese?
Yeah, the Cumberly one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I don't eat a lot of cheese. My dad is a cheese fiend.
Is it?
So if you'd let him, he'd go for like 50 euros worth of cheese a week, literally. So I had to like cut it down a bit. But he's a diamond for like Edam and cheddar. I do get like the little spreads and stuff, cut like Brie.
Yeah. He said his favorite is baguette and cheese.
Yeah, he's very French though, whereas I'm just like still a cheddar girl.
Oh, bless you. We'll get you there. All right. Do you have a favorite song?
French song.
Any song?
So there is this song that I freaking love, and I can't work out who sings it, and I don't know the words.
And you don't sing it to me?
No, it just started.
Oh, was you show me like the
Yes, wait, yeah, that is your preferred dance. Like your preferred dance.
Yeah.
And and then it goes, "Do-do-do-do," and I'm like vibing in the car, and then I just had to go. "Do-do-do-do." And I just get so infuriated, which I totally get. But yes, I still look the vibe of the song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's lovely. What is your biggest fear since moving to France?
The next 5 years to 10 years, I guess, because me and my dad bought this house together. And obviously, French law for like, heaven forbid, touch wood, if something happens to my dad, then it's just me and Carter here. So obviously, this house is just way too flipping big for me and Carter. And even though there's no mortgage, it wouldn't be sustainable for just me and Carter. It's one of the reasons why now the house is on the market, because I need to think,
Yeah, 5 or 10 years in advance.
yeah. And if I obviously have to look after my dad, and I mean, he's 73 now, but no, don't get me wrong, I do all his cooking, cleaning, washing, ironing, and everything else, driving him around like a chauffeur. But if it gets any deeper than that, then it's going to be, a lot of work. And, obviously I would do it. But it's, again, when I moved here, I guess I didn't think of that at the back of my head. And obviously there's like the tax implications and stuff. So that's, I guess, what I fear. I don't fear the journey or the adventure, but sometimes the destination could be a bit tricky.
Does your dad have other surviving children?
No, my brother died 2 years ago, so it's only me. And then obviously, if something happened to me and my dad and Carter are alive, God, they'd never find their way back to England. You know what I mean? They would. Where's it on their passports? Like it's a lot. And like I said to you before, I don't have a spouse who I can bounce off or that support network.
Yeah.
When you're the main person in your household, the pressure is on. And if I wasn't here, oh my God, I'm not going to lie, I don't know what would happen. They'd have to go on TV and ask for a new home. Like, what?
Yeah.
So I don't make it.
How did they find the TV? What's your most embarrassing moment in France?
Vanessa, there's so freaking many. There is so many. Every day I'm embarrassed. Every day I do something stupid. Every day I'm like, Steph, your lack of knowledge and understanding here is totally stupid and your own fault. Like yesterday, on a Monday, Cards goes to get some extra help with his reading and writing, and I have to pick him up early, and I press the door to go into the school, and the directrice is just coming up and opening it for me. She's like, "Bonjour, Stephanie." I'm like, "Oh, bonjour," and then she went, "Da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da," and I'm like, just look at. like a science, and I'll go, wait, she's saying something else. Like, why don't I had the way changer, and I'm like, okay, and I'm trying to put two and two together, and none of it is making sense. So I just go really animated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm forever embarrassed, but it's because of my own lack of learning, and not that I'm not trying.
Yeah.
Like I said to you that time that I said to the waitress, "Don't worry about cutlery, cards you can eat with his feet."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, all the time. But I absolutely 100% believe there is a lot of people that would love to move to France, maybe aren't as good at the language. But I want to say to you, don't. If you're prepared to look like a fool, then you're on your way to success. Because in my twisted thoughts, if you're prepared to fail, you're prepared to succeed.
I think pride aside, well, I still have to, well, if you don't have any pride, no, that's fine. We are doing great. But for me, I'm full of it. I've got lots of pride. But it was one of the most difficult things was learning to say, I don't understand. So somebody will ask you a question, and even now, if I mishear it or I just didn't quite catch exactly what they're on about, sometimes it's just like a follow-up question type situation. You have to just pause and say, I'm sorry, I don't understand. And it takes
Brave.
it is
Brave.
That is embarrassing. It's being like you're having a full-blown conversation with somebody, getting on fine, everything's going great, and then all of a sudden they say something and you're just like, duh, sorry, no idea what you said.
See, I totally wouldn't think that would ever be a thing for you, because your French is very good and you can sit with a French person and have a full-blown conversation. So only understanding, say, 70 to 80% of your conversation is amazing. I don't even understand like 5.
Yeah,
I still.
But when she said that to you, to turn and say, sorry, I don't understand, she might have she realized, oh yeah, like slower or use her hand signals or whatever. You never know. As opposed to being like, wee, and then you might learn, like,
Yeah, just one word, put it together. But again, it's certain words that I have to pick up and then, like you say, put it all together. But I never get ashamed or embarrassed. I am who I am. End of.
What is your most hated French food? Like, what have you tried here that you really do like?
Oh, so we did a show on Channel 5, and they wanted us to do the whole stupid, embarrassing, like, oh, Brits in France, let's try frog legs and, escargot. And
Yeah.
oh, God, I literally was vomiting off camera.
Really?
Yeah, I
Frog legs or escargot or both?
both. Yeah, I had to and I was like, mate, like, it's just not for me. And they're like, oh yeah, could that be funny? And I was like, I don't think it will be. And it obviously wasn't. I'm going like off a camera, and the thing about it now, I can still taste it. Like I think French, patisseries and things like that are just incredible, and the way that they do beef bourguignon, and there is so many amazing things, but that frog legs and escargot is just not for me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an acquired taste.
It's so funny because my dad's favorite food, or for a long time, his favorite French food was frog legs. Like his mom used to make them for him or something. And he came out here for his birthday at one point, and I was like, "We'll go get frog legs." And it was so difficult to find them in the store. I thought like, "Oh yeah, we'll get them in like the frozen food section or something." We went to Auchan in Berriga, and they had them, but they were like, you only see them now at like Chinese food restaurants, really, and they're like really little ones. And he was so disappointed. He's like, "No, I want one that's like a chicken leg size." And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, you would have thought.
but like they just taste like chicken, really, don't they?" It's just the thought.
Yeah, it's probably just the thought. And I've got like 2 frogs that live in my garden, Madge and Dave, and every night they're like, and I'm like, hi Madge, hi Dave. So maybe it was sad, not the actual taste.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, bless you. So that leads me into, because you mentioned before, are you, if you had to choose, comfy canard or before,
Definitely before you. So when I'd only lived here about 2 or 3 months before we started filming on this show, and I had to go to a Vie de Maison, which I didn't know what it was, and they told me about 20 times how to say Vie de Maison, and I couldn't. And I didn't know what it was, and I just walked in, and there was a woman stood there, and I was like, "Hi." Anyway, long story short, I made friends with Demi and Nicole, and they were just incredible. And we couldn't understand a word that each other was saying, but that didn't matter.
Yeah.
And then she invited me back to learn how to cook beef bourguignon, and she did it in a pressure cooker and everything, and it tasted incredible. And I just was so in awe of the time and the effort that they took to explain to me, like, how to do the garlic and how to take the bit out of the middle of the garlic so you get your tummy ache and thing. I mean, I still couldn't. She was talking in French, but she was showy, shidori.
Yeah.
And I came home, and then every night after, I was cooking beef bourguignon. I was going, for the love of God, find a different recipe. And I was like, no, I can nail this one. That was like years ago, so I probably can't make it now. So definitely beef bourguignon.
Do you buy meat often at the supermarket?
I do, but I do like support my local butcher. Yeah, and he's got in Brossac, and he's got one of the best reputations. People come from like Angoulême and everything,
Really?
to his butchers, basically. Yeah, because he's really good quality. So
Yeah, we've got a favorite butcher as well.
okay, yeah, you do a favorite bakery, and butchers goes a long ways with it. I think it's in France.
Yeah, we definitely have you've got your favorite bakery.
Yeah.
So how far away is that?
Literally Brossac. So 6 to 8 minute drive, and I've got Pharmacy, the spa that I love them in there. Because it's super cool.
The most expensive supermarket in the world.
I literally don't care. I'm in there, and I'm like €50 a day in the spa, and I walk in and I go, "Bonjour!" They're like, "Bonjour!" They've got so used to me now, that they just laugh.
Oh, bless. Are you tea or coffee?
Coffee, but it makes, as we both know, it makes me want to wee every 2 minutes, and then you're like, Steph.
Were you always a coffee, or did you tea when you lived in the UK and you swapped?
That's a really good point. I think I swapped.
Yeah.
I think I was more tea in England. I think you're right. I swapped.
Yeah.
I know. I made a massive, is it a cultural error? I don't know. When my neighbour came round for coffee, so I boiled the kettle, and he looked at me in disgust, and I was like, "Oh God, what have I done here?"
Yeah.
And obviously, French people do not drink filtered coffee.
And instant.
So anyway, I ended up buying this machine. I was so embarrassed. I bought this massive white. It is literally like a technical robot, is it NEO machine? It's me €179 for this machine. And then I worked out you can't really buy the pods anywhere, even in the big supermarkets. So I put that in the garage. And then I ended up going out and buying more coffee machines.
Yeah.
Because I was so mortified, that I messed up a massive faux pas. So yeah, definitely more coffee.
Yeah, so one thing that I noticed is when I've visited Sina's family in the UK, if they ever have anyone who's coming to do any work, which they always do, they're like, the boiler man's coming, cut along. It's like 10 cups of tea a day. Yeah, and it's just totally normal. It's like, oh, you've got a pause in your work day, cup of tea. Yeah, and when people come to ours here, if they're French and you invite them in for a cup of tea, or you ask them if they want a tea or a coffee when they get to do work for you, they're completely terrified of the conversation. They're why would you offer me a drink now? I don't want a little cup of coffee. No, I don't want a cup of tea. You weird person.
Yeah.
And I'm it's just common courtesy, you just nice.
It is nice. Yeah, I think it's nice, but they think it's weird.
Yeah. Also, they must just look at me and go, no, she can't make a cup of coffee. She's American. It'll be watery. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Let's get on to next question. Do you have a celebrity male crush?
No. I think Denzel's really cool.
Really?
Denzel, yeah, Denzel Washington. I think it's really just phenomenal when he talks. Obviously, great actor, but I think he's just like one of those wise men. I'm like, yeah. I would just sit and listen to him all day, every day. Yeah.
Fabulous. I know that was a random one. It's totally unFrench related. This is also unFrench related. But if you became a billionaire,
Yes, then we do.
yeah, what's the first thing you would do with your money?
Buy a really nice car. And I know it sounds really like fickle, and I don't mean it in that way, because like things like that don't, like clothes, shoes, makeup, being girly, a house, none of that bothers me. But a car. So before I had Carter, I was such a tomboy. I had the nicest cars, and because I drive everywhere, don't I?
Yeah.
So the experience of driving, I look forward to getting in my car, raving up my music,
Yeah.
and just driving, and I flipping love it. Like you with your car at the minute, I'm in awe. I love cars, and yeah, I'd get a car with decent sound system.
Yeah, the sound systems. Yeah. The Mercedes, the speakers are not good in that thing. Yeah, so it looks like it'd be good, but it's not.
No, and then I had can't remember what they call it now in the Range Rover. I had it's this most amazing sound system, and then obviously the range died about 2 years ago. Like free to just do we do. She's had like 7 lives. Yes. And then like it just could afford to like you put any more money into it. I'm like, you can just let her R.I.P. But yeah, music is such a thing to me. So yeah, being able to drive somewhere with some nice music, and yeah, that would be it for me.
Yeah.
Money's irrelevant. It's experiences that you pay for.
Yeah.
And yeah, nothing better on a sunny day with your music blasted.
Yeah.
And driving through a French country road.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, that was my last question, Tate.
Well done. Thank you again for watching and listening, and please share and follow and subscribe, because it's we're snowballing, which is amazing. So that is thanks to all you guys and all your commitment to us, and we are committed to you. So have a good one.
See you next time.